Good afternoon and welcome to the presentation of the quarterly results for the first quarter of FY 14-15. The numbers I think are already known to all of you, so the details will be gone through by our CFO Mr. Saraf, and then we will start taking questions. On the qualitative front, I only wanted to mention that there were a number of initiatives that we had taken, including in the area of risk, where we continue to work very hard in tweaking the models, in assessing what would be our profiles and our appetite for the portfolios of various assets going forward. The early warning system that we had promised, the bids have been now finalized and work has started on it. Hopefully it will come in by the December of this year. Similarly, also on the delivery front, whatever we had promised that we would do, we are continuing to do. McKinsey at this point of time is helping us in this particular initiative. We have already done about 30,000 interviews of customers and 10,000 interviews of our staff members in order to determine what are the lacunae and how we should go about fixing them. We have also rolled out a mass communication program to cover every one of our staff. It was rolled out on 1st of July. We have already covered about 66,000 people, and it is expected to end in 100 days by covering the entire officers and clerical staff of the bank. So this too we expect to improve the kind of responsiveness that our staff exhibit while handling customers. In respect of cost controls also, the numbers will speak for themselves. We continue on these measures. There are very many other areas that we are now assessing in order to ensure that better efficiencies can get built into the system overall. Similarly, on the IT front too, we are delivering in every single way. We have opened 6 digital branches. These are basically high street mall kind of stores rather than branches. I should call them stores, and these are expected to give an immersive digital experience, and they are more sourcing points. The servicing therein is mostly on a self-service mode. So other than the digital platform, we are continuing to push on other fronts. We have already opened more than 360 e-corners across the country. The e-corners are basically places where you have ATMs, check deposit machines, cash deposit machines, multifunction kiosks, passbook printers, coin vending machines, and only a single attendant. So these are open 24/7, and to that extent, it makes banking much easier for everybody. So in very, very many ways, whatever we had said, whatever agenda we had set for ourselves, we are continuing to pursue those agendas. And as a result of that, whatever are the results that have come for this quarter, they will be given to you in detail by the CFO. Subsequent to that, we'll be open to taking questions. Thank you. Please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I have great pleasure in presenting reviewed Q1 results of State Bank of India. The performance highlights for the quarter have been that our net interest income has gone up by 15.12%. Fee income has gone up by 10.9%. Operating profit is up by a healthy 16.3%, and resulting in net profit being up by 3.37%. Our expense ratio, this is a reflection of the cost control measures that we have initiated, has actually come down by 296 basis points. And the gross NPA on a YOY basis is down by 66 basis points. The capital adequacy as at June quarter is 12.33% overall and 9.63% for Tier 1. If we take into account Q1 retained profits, the capital adequacy would be 12.56% overall and 9.86% for Tier 1. Coming to specifics, net interest income at 36,487 for the quarter is up by 15.03%. Interest expenses, on the other hand, have grown at a slightly lower pace and stand at 23,235, a growth of 14.99%. And the net interest income resultantly has gone up by 15.12% to a figure of 13,252 for the quarter. Our fee income has been one of the focus areas for us, where we have concentrated on improving the fee income of the bank. And at 2,837 crores, it is up by 10.9%. Non-interest income overall, which includes depreciation, profit and loss on the investments, is down by 4.97% and stands at 4,252. The operating income has gone up by 9.5% to 17,504 crores. On the operating expenses side, the staff expenses are nearly flat. There is a very nominal growth of just 45 basis points over Q1 of last year. Overheads, on the other hand, have been restrained to single-digit growth, 8.86% growth only. They stand at 3,152, resulting in operating expenses growth of just 3.34% YOY. So the operating profit at 8,788 is the highest ever quarter one profit recorded by the bank, a growth of 16.37%. The provisions stand at 5,439, which includes loan loss provision of 3,903. Sequentially, the loan losses provision have come down from 5,884. On YOY basis, however, the loan losses provision are up from 2,266. The net profit is 3,349 as against 3,241 in Q1 FY14. The net interest income has been growing sequentially. Year on year it has been growing. And starting with Q1 year 11 at 7,304, it reached 13,252 in Q1 of this year. Similarly, the operating profit has grown sequentially from 7,551 to 8,788, and the net profit solo is up from 3,241 to 3,349. Our net interest margins have been going up. The pace has accelerated somewhat during this quarter, and they have gone up by 5 basis points to 3.54 for domestic business. On a YOY basis, the net interest margin is up by 10 basis points. In international operations, because of the prevailing interest rate scenario, the NIM has been under pressure at 1.08, and therefore on a blended basis, the net interest margin is 3.13, down from 3.17 sequentially and 3.16 a year ago. The yield on advances has again gone up. Sequentially, it has gone up by 11 basis points to 10.58, and on YOY basis, it has gone up by 35 basis points from 10.23 to 10.58. The cost of deposit, on the other hand, is almost flat. Sequentially, it has grown by just 1 basis point to 6.28. On a YOY basis, the increase in cost of deposit is just 7 basis points. The cost of funds, like cost of deposit, has gone up just by 1 basis point sequentially and 8 basis points YOY to a level of 6.42. Coming to top line, the bank has grown by 12.85% in deposits, which stand as 14,18,915 crores. The CASA ratio, the highest in the industry as at the end of quarter one, stands at 43.51%. Gross advances have shown a growth of 12.52%, and they stand at 12,32,288 crores. This is made up of domestic advances, which is at 10,08,530 crores, and international advances at 2,23,758 crores. In the major verticals that we have, our large corporate have shown a healthy growth of 33.7%. In mid corporate and SME, we have consciously followed a policy of controlled growth. Mid-corporate has grown by 4.38%, and SME has a slight decline of 1.37%. Home loans continue their healthy growth with a growth of 15.58%. Our home loan portfolio stands at 1,44,210. Auto loan portfolio stands at 28,202, a growth of 6.7%. Direct agri has recorded a growth of 12.36% to reach 1,23,638. The capital adequacy, as I mentioned, stands at a healthy 12.33% without taking into account profits for the quarter. On the asset quality front, this has been one of the focus areas for us. And YOY basis, the gross NPAs have come down by 66 basis points to 4.90%. The net NPAs stand at 2.66%, and the absolute amount is 31,884. The NPA movement has been recovery of 3,185 crores during the quarter, upgradation of 1,362, write-off of 6,556, fresh slippage of 9,932, and net increase of 1,171. So sequentially, there has been a net decline, and the closing level of NPAs is 60,434. Now, let me just touch upon slippages briefly. Quarter one is the period when slippages are usually the highest in all the quarters. Last year, that is FY14, we had slippage of 17,766. As against that, the slippage in quarter one this year has been 9,932. There is one more element of slippage which has come as a somewhat a slight setback to our efforts. We had been making a lot of efforts to contain and reduce our agriculture NPAs, which used to be as high as 20% of our portfolio a year ago. And in March, we had reduced it to 17% of the portfolio at 10,660. However, given certain developments later, after in Q1, in Andhra and Telangana, the NPA level in agriculture has gone up, and it has gone up by as much as 1,224 of additional slippage. And not only that, it has also had a kind of induction effect, where in some other states as well, the repayment culture seems to have been somewhat affected. As regards restructured assets, so if we have gross NPA and restructured assets, these stand at 8.33%, and the net NPA and restructured standard assets stand at 6.01%. Our return of assets as compared to FY14 has gone up by 9 basis points to 74 basis points.